Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, August 17th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call tonight at 9 p.m. We're going to dispel a lot of things. The creative process is a process of surrender, not control. Hard for people to do that. When you're in the habit of wanting to control, it's not easy for people to surrender, not control. Julie Cameron. Many of us created certain emotional and psychic shields as children in order to survive our childhood. These walls were necessary at that time to protect us and keep us safe. Yet, as adults, if these barriers are still up, they are blocking us from feeling love, compassion, and intimacy with others. These walls are also stopping us from manifesting true financial freedom, abundance, and even profound health into our lives. If you feel stuck in your relationships with others, money, or yourself in any way, it is because your brilliant light is still hiding behind one of these old, heavy, unnecessary shields. Now, you may ask, aren't there some situations where it's good to protect myself? Well, it all depends on how spiritually advanced you are and what lessons you're still needing to learn. If you know you are an infinite being that will never, ever die, and we're talking about the God soul within you, then what is there to defend? See, it may get a little tenuous, a little confusing, but we focus on body, the physical form, right? And a lot of people believe they're the physical form. So when we say we never ever die, that means the soul within the body and the God within the soul. All right? You go to interact with the soul within, and in doing so, you go deeper, you will discover the God that you are. So it's like, what is there to defend? Period. That which is real cannot be harmed. That which is real cannot be harmed, so why protect it? See, many of us get tricked because of all of the things that have been, thrown out there throughout the ages. Information and ideas and, perspectives and understandings and so on and so forth. And most of it is just miscombobulated goop that has really no purpose. So once you understand that which is real cannot be harmed, so why protect it? Which means the God within you, not the body. Yet if you're still healing wounds inside the ego and creating an identity that needs certain boundaries, then it will feel blatantly obvious that there is something that needs protection. If you're still healing wounds inside the ego and creating an identity that needs certain boundaries, then it will feel blatantly obvious that there is something that needs protection. You may need to be as strong as a mountain to stand up for your rights in order to one day let them go. Yet 99.99% of the time, you are not surrounded by angry, hungry tigers, and this defense mechanism is just an old unconscious habit blocking you from total liberation. The need to defend yourself right? The need to defend yourself is what actually makes your ego appear real. The ego, however, is like your shadow, right? Now, we all seen our shadows, right? The sun, certain times. And in fact, when we were kids, we thought it was really cool that we had a friend there, our shadow. How ridiculous would it be to see someone protecting their shadow from getting touched by sunlight? This is how we look when we defend our ego. Okay? It's a good analogy. How ridiculous would it be to see someone protecting their shadow from getting touched by sunlight? Right? This is how we look when we defend our ego. If we want to become a super conscious, awakened spiritual being, stop protecting your ego. Any type of defending that you do is just coming from a place of fear, insecurity, and weakness. Defenselessness is about doing no harm on any level to any being. It is truly living from a place of peace with all beings and will only manifest peaceful situations. Remember, see, and this comes up a lot with us. Well, you have to defend yourself. You know, what if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time? See, now we create situations for ourselves and we manifest everything. Remember that. Whenever we get upset or triggered by others, here's a simple technique. Become like a flute that is hollow and light, and allow your breath to flow through you and your triggered feelings. Who knows? Their negative words may start to sound like music to your new ears. Even if you are in a long-term relationship and have been hearing sour notes for years, simply allow that song to play on through. Breathe into it, through it. Let your body feel it and eventually release it. So we invite everyone to make the choice right now to never protect or defend your ego. Just ask, whom am I defending? Whom am I defending? Now, you know that the mind is an illusion, and the ego is created by the mind to assist it. Right? This is part of the stuff we inherit as gods when we enter these bodies. What shadow self is here? And is this aspect real or imaginary? The more we investigate what needs to be defended, the more we realize these are only small, helpless, powerless voices from our past. Now, it may be the same voice your parents or siblings had. If you need to, then feel this need to defend these shadow parts and then let it go. The greater our defense is, the more suffering enters our bodies. And we will soon be forced to let go because we are playing into that which is not real. This universe won't let you buy into this defensive energy for very long because the imaginary always moves to the real. It's easier to see the deeper lessons that this life is teaching us once we become an unobstructed channel of awareness. The more we can let down our defenses, the more receptive we can become to the abundance and divine power all around us and inside us. The truth is that there is really no reason to be guarded at all. Who we truly are can never never be hurt by the outer world. It is only the ego self that believes it can be harmed, hurt, and destroyed. The timeless infinite consciousness that we are cannot be touched by anyone or anything ever. Ever, ever, ever. As an eternal radiant being, we are impervious to attacks from the outer world. This infinite beingness has never been harmed by vicious words or energy. All negative energy passes right through without touching the beauty of our timeless consciousness. As we awaken more and more to this realization, we will automatically notice the stillness and the silliness and the uselessness of holding any walls up with anyone. These walls block the love from flowing between you. Once you see this, you will naturally take these walls down and let the brilliant light of your infinite nature shine through. Now, everything's choice. Here's a choice. For the next 7 days of your life, we invite you to make this radical choice. Be unguarded. Practice it with everyone, everywhere you go. Don't try to defend your point of view or protect yourself from other people's opinions, judgments, or verbal attacks. Simply practice accepting and releasing whatever comes your way. Have compassion for others. Decide to be a powerful and unlimited source of lightness, no matter what kind of energy is being sent your direction. Do not take anything personally. Remember one thing. Our ego is not real. It is not real. It is not real. It is an illusion. Reside in what is real by surrendering to what is deepest inside, at the core of your innermost being. Whatever unwanted messages the universe sends you, welcome them. Return to resting in this spiritual source inside. Play with creating a new unguarded way of accepting yourself and others in each moment. Allow everyone to have their own unique experience without judgment, and look for deep eternal love in all of your interactions with them. Everybody in one way, shape, or form on this planet, maybe in it and above it, below it, are seeking enlightenment. Buddha seeked enlightenment. Lao Tzu seeked enlightenment. Maitreya seeked enlightenment. Total liberation is not very far away. It is just hidden behind you also. I hear it, I'm sure you guys have heard this, right? It's like, what's the point of it all? Why am I here? What great purpose do I serve? And the answers to that take a lot of patience and persistence. And it is actually a motivator for us to dig deeper. How many of us are open and available to every experience life gives us? Knowing that each experience is always the right experience for the enlightened being? There is no such thing as a wrong experience. This universe is the most intelligent teacher there is. And it never, ever makes a mistake. And this universe is this grand weave of perpetual spiritual synchronicity and our karmic destiny. We are the timeless, the expression of wild conscious creativity in action, always co-creating a synchro-destined harmonious play between mind, matter, and spirit. How could this omniscient perfection ever make a mistake or even entertain the idea of what a mistake might be like? The word mistake was created by mankind. If you step back and look at our world from the highest, most heavenly space, it appears that we are this great symphony of souls all working together to reach higher states of consciousness. Now, of course, we're also these separate beings with unique minds, hearts, and individual lives. Yet this separating aspect is not the biggest truth. The greatest truth is that we are intimately connected with everything, everyone else in the universe. Not only this universe, but all ensuing universes. When we surrender to this larger truth, weaving throughout our day, the most tantalizing and enlightening moments just magically fill up. We can feel the presence of something much larger than ourselves is guiding us to a more joyous state of being. We naturally become more sensually available to all the pleasure and joy we are here to experience in this deliciously exquisite existence. Now, by being radically open, raw, naked, and deeply willing to receive whatever the divine existence is offering us in each moment, enlightenment must pour into us. It simply has no other choice. When we completely empty out our cup, the universe has to fill it. The result is a truly intimate connection with this divine intelligence and an abundance of the richest manifesting energy radiating from our cores. By living each moment from this raw, open, vulnerable place, we can become unstoppable in everything and anything we do. Whenever we're deeply surrendered to this life, life surrenders to us. You see how that works? Whenever we are deeply surrendered to life, life surrenders to us. We immediately feel this humble yet empowering connection with everything and everyone. There are no more feelings of lack, unworthiness, or separation with who we are. There's also no need to become someone powerful, superior, and special, so that we cover up that unconscious, insecure self who feels inferior. We can allow all our darker parts to be seen, felt, and heard. We came here to experience life in all possible ways. Good, bad, bitter, sweet, dark, light, summer, winter. Experience all the dualities. Don't be afraid of experience, because the more experience we have, the more mature we become. Allow the totality of our darkness and divinity to be revealed. As we start feeling into, exposing, honoring, and welcoming all our dark and bright parts, we spend less energy controlling, holding back, hiding, and trying to contain our wild brilliance. And within this relaxation, our full divine nature can bring forth and shower upon the world. We are free to be spontaneous, creative, fully self-confident, and can access our core life energy. Naturally, we find ourselves resting and abiding in our spiritual essence, which does not judge or condemn anything or anyone, as it is the source of love itself. The most spiritually expansive, loving, healing, and magical experiences in this life instantly start manifesting when we take the risk
to look within and be honest, vulnerable, real with who we think we are. When we remove all our masks with everyone in our lives, drop all our perceived burdens, shed our protective layers, and become totally transparent with everyone in the world, then the supreme enlightened reality sneaks into us. This enlightened perception of life takes over our mind, creating an energetic merging with our ego and spiritual essence. We feel this awesome, wholesome love for ourselves and others everywhere we go. The secret to this second enlightened secret is to be fearless in unraveling and exposing our enlightened and horrific lives, selves. We must be able to relax and truly be at okay with every good and bad idea that passes through our mind and emotions. We must choose not to get stuck on anything and become like Teflon, a non-stick surface which all thoughts slide off of. We cannot take anything that is revealed personally, as every idea and concept we have about who we are was handed down to us, programmed in our subconscious mind from our parents, siblings, teachers, society, and the many generations who were before them. Don't rely on the mind for liberation. You are the sum cause of this entire universe, Nesrigadana. Resting in silence and stillness of mind, ironically, the cause of our enlightenment and what's blocking us from experiencing it, is the same thing, the mind. When we transcend the mind, dropping any attachment we have to it, the brilliant light of our being can then shine through, and this brilliance is all we can see in every direction. Of course, a mind is essential to adventure into this great journey into spiritual liberation, yet we first need to understand what the mind actually is, so that one day we can become free from it. If and when you start to watch your mind, you'll notice it is always striving, judging, analyzing, and needing to achieve something. You may have lived your entire life so far completely wrapped up in the head, which is always focusing on thoughts, concepts, right and wrong opinions, judgments, and belief systems. This, the secret to remaining unenlightened. As long as you're always up in the head thinking, with your brain running the show, and the rest of your heart, sex center, and physical sensual body is being ignored. Know that enlightenment is full body experience. This means the whole body is engaged in experiencing life, and not just the over-analytical mind. And to step back from the mind requires total awareness. Every enlightened experience begins by first taking one step back from the mind and resting in a state of pure awareness. This is why an enlightenment seeker meditates, not to control the mind, yet to transcend all thinking completely, calling forth the experience of total silence, stillness, and pure awareness inside. Stillness creates an automatic letting go of the constant control, domination, and neediness of the mind. It is something that takes 100% of your devotion and dedication, as the mind is deeply addicted to the outer search. It will spend lifetimes searching for fulfillment in the outer world, believing this is the purpose of life. It will continuously try to fill your time on earth with new information, people, and special goodies out there, never questioning reality or what your heart or soul is really yearning for inside. The secret to this enlightened stillness of mind is learning how to be 100% surrendered to life. This comes from giving more energy towards that natural, trusting feeling in something bigger than you is running the entire show. The supreme God source and cosmic intelligence is very real and always connected with our core essence. We are a drop of water in this sweet cosmic ocean. We are not separate from this vast sea of bliss until we get caught in the mind and believe that we are. When we rest in total stillness of the mind, we instantly dissolve back into the sea of bliss and find freedom within it all. Lastly, be aware that the mind is very, very, very tricky and slippery. So use caution whenever you approach it. Don't trust the mind or buy into its stories, as it will confidently lead you down one sure path and then switch the next day into following a completely different direction. Trust the heart instead of the mind. The heart lives in love and abides in a connection of oneness with this universe, with all universes. This is the easiest doorway to enter the experience of enlightenment. When I look inside and I see that I am nothing, that is wisdom. When I look outside to see that I am everything, that is love. And between these two, my life turns. Nisargadatta Maharaj. Trust 100% in yourself. 100% in yourself. This universe and in this sacred journey through life. So trust 100% in yourself, this universe, and in this sacred journey through life. Always being trusting, open, and available to yourself. The universe, your life, is no small matter. Accessing our full enlightened nature is so enormous that we must choose to expand beyond our old comfort zones and trust in something beyond the mind, beyond everything we know. The great secret to living in a continuous state of trust is learning how to abide in the feminine energy. This is the highly fertile experience of openness, deep relaxation, and pure receptivity. When this energy enters our bodies, it means we have stopped engaging in society's over-controlling, dominating masculine influence and started welcoming that feminine magnetic force that is inherent at the core of every atom in creation. This sacred feminine energy is wild, liberating, and is very magnetic. It is inside everything around us. It is very real, organic, and it shows up naturally when we stop pursuing the life that never fully satisfied us. As we turn inwards to find the divine feminine source, we merge with that ancient way of being which nurtures our very soul. And we find this natural spiritual energy inside our being, and relaxing into this energy allows us to feel at one with the entire universe wherever we go. The enlightened state is absolute trust in what is here now. And it's never half-assed about it. This 100% level of trust creates an instant feeling of freedom from doubt, resistance, and fear. The mind stops controlling everything, and it gives up striving to attain a different experience than the one given to us now. When we live from a state of 100% trust, we start allowing this magical universe to unfold however it will. If you are only willing to release 99% control over your life, then ask yourself, what is this 1% still holding on to? Why would clinging to thoughts of fear, doubt, and needing more control be more important than your spiritual freedom? Sure, we could allow for a small percentage of our ego's free will to be there, yet it's good to explore how this non-trusting ego trip is just some entertaining sideshow and not the real deal. To abide in 100% trust all day long requires a full let go of our beliefs, addictions, demands on ourselves, others, and this world. It means that we stop avoiding our limited spiritual nature. Total trust. It is about you recognize the divine soul you are and having the deepest devotion to your spiritual self. The secret is about embracing all the joy and pain you find inside. Life is meant to be a continuous trusting process, and to master it, this great sacred feminine energy needs to be at our center so we can feel nourished, guided in every moment of our lives. When we can sit back and allow the great cosmic wheel of life to take over, we'll find out that it's steering our minds to see, feel, and know this is all divine perfection. All journeys are outward journeys. There is no inward journey. How can you turn inwards? You are already there. There is no point in going. When going stops, journeying disappears. When desiring is no more clouding the mind, you are in ocean. Feel the oneness between the spiritual and material world. Manifesting our material dream life and the road to enlightenment are two sides of the same coin. When we embrace our natural manifesting ability, we must choose to also open the doors for a greater spiritual depth inside, which is needed to balance everything out. We cannot be fully enlightened unless we are enjoying our connection with the vibrant, rich matrix of powerful manifesting energy that exists in quantum particles all around us, and is what we refer to as the material world. We also cannot totally enjoy any physical riches and luxuries of the material world without being relaxed and surrendered to our divine spiritual energy at our core. These worlds are one world, two sides of the same coin, and they are independent and interdependent with each other, feeding into the other. They cannot exist without each other. If we judge something in the material world as bad, we set up an energetic block inside us, which stops our spiritual growth, and vice versa. It is only through surrendering to the merging of our spiritual and material nature that we find the fastest path to freedom. And ironically, we will find the experience of spiritual surrender as one of the greatest manifesting secrets that was ever invented, and causes our dreams and desires to manifest faster than the speed of light. Retire to solitude. Seat yourself on a clean spot in an erect posture, with the head and neck in a straight line. Control all sense organs. Bow down in devotion to your teacher. Then enter the lotus of the heart and meditate there on the presence of Brahma, the pure, the infinite, the blissful. Kaivalya Upanishad. It's good to know that the road towards enlightenment is the highest spiritual path one can choose to follow through life. Not because self-realization is so challenging to discover and maintain, yet rather because it is also extremely easy and effortless. It is both effortless and ridiculously challenging.
choice. A lot of us will choose to do certain things and choose not to do other things. And really, what tells us that what tells us which choice is right, right? Okay? In actuality, whatever choice you make is right. Can someone choose for you? You can only choose for yourself. The mind is often too small of a container, as we all know, to grasp any of this, and may become confused by this conundrum, which is why we haven't heard about that many enlightened beings here with Earth's history. The good news is that anyone can step into this empty of mind, spiritually awakened state instantly at any moment, since the light of consciousness is our basic nature. Depending on our programming, it may require decades of searching and efforting to set the mind aside, remain fully conscious of pure consciousness, totally relaxed in your body, and eternally expanding into your cosmic spiritual nature. It's truly the greatest cosmic joke of all that we are all trying to attain our natural, effulgent state of being, and we already are that. So what could be easier and harder than that? Basically, it means we must choose to make a tremendous effort to be 100% effortless. So on this great journey into enlightenment, we are going to get to pass a few essential tests. What's at stake here is our life's fulfillment on the deepest levels. So we will come across many unexpected curves in the road. Perhaps an enormous range of mountains to climb, a massive roadblock to leap over, and many succulent distractions that will stop us in our spiritual tracks. All these tests make the journey even more of a wild and crazy celebration when we are sitting on top of one of these peaks or resting in the green, sunny, warm valley along the way. People don't appreciate things that are freely given as much as those things which they may feel are nearly impossible to attain. No feat that is going to push our boundaries, stretch our limits, and feels outrageous to even imagine is going to be easy to manifest. The amount of struggle, loss, and confusion along our journey is the very fuel that will eventually burn our ego away. So again, it is the universe which has invented the perfect spiritual setup. Just remember, the universe never makes mistakes. The journey, which is pulling us deeper into this very moment of our life, is revealing the real reason why we're here. If and when you look for your path into enlightenment in any place other than the now, you will miss it. If any of us look for our path into enlightenment in any place other than the now, we will miss it. It is always hidden in the most sacred place that we are least likely to look for it. That's why Buddha said, master your thoughts. And the now, we talk a lot about the now. It's urgent and mandatory. If you were to walk up to somebody and you would say to them, "Are you in the now?" what do you think their response would be? Would they understand what you were conveying or asking? Or would they look at you puzzled? Because no matter what your ego mind conveys to you on a daily basis, the now is the gateway to your soul within that body and the God within that soul. There's no other way. Many have tried other ways throughout the ages, throughout time, throughout existence. And they never discovered. Isn't it ironic that all of us, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, have been putting forth all this effort to seek that which is outside of us? To seek all the answers to the questions that we are presented with in this life. You know, the statement, "Seek and ye shall find." But in which direction? Within or without? All the questions that we have, all the desires, all the wants, all the needs, have always, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever, within these bodies. And see, some of us begin to realize that, what am I chasing out there? Isn't it consistent? It's persistent. Consistent and persistent. Consistent and persistent. And it's constant. We search, seek. We're constantly figuring out what to conquer, control, run, power. And it's the power that we seek outside of ourselves is ourselves. And there isn't any one of us, this planet or anywhere else in the existence and beyond, that doesn't have that power within. And most of the things that occur, that we create, that we manifest, whether knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, we get caught up in, no matter what happens to us in our lives, there's one perfect understanding. We are powerful beyond measure, beautiful beyond words, and truly an extraordinary being who has access to unlimited love, creativity, and pleasure. And for us to be in awe of this understanding. Try it just for a few minutes and see what happens. You might discover some resistance, denial, or perhaps the realization that this amazing fact is already within every one of us. Focusing on the breath. You can focus on your breath all day long. Doesn't take a lot of effort, really doesn't. Listen to your breath, exactly as it is. Try to alter it, change it, or whatever. As you begin to focus on your breath, listening to your breath, you will notice that all the stuff around you, the mind chatter, incessant thoughts, worries, stresses, fears, anxieties, vanish. They really do vanish. And people say, well then, why? How come I feel it? Because you're not in the now.
You can't feel it when you're in the now. You don't worry, you don't stress, you don't fear. That's a real measuring tool for you to self-identify the fact that I'm not really in the now because I still have these worries, stresses, fears, anxieties. See, because when you're in the now, all of them are outside of you. The ego mind is outside of you. It isn't you. And so you look at the ego mind and you say, without judgment through the heart mind, and you say, now I understand. This is how the ego works. This is how the mind works. Rather than believing you are the mind and you are the ego, which is not true. This is how you master the ego mind. There's no other way. This is how you master the subconscious mind. There isn't any other way. Most of us, it's very difficult for us to stay in the now, even for 30 seconds. And it's not a negative, it's not a bad thing. We're so habituated, lifetime after lifetime, thousands of lifetimes, we're so habituated out there, right? We're habituated to believe that the body is us. It isn't. You ever notice that when you are outside yourself, right? You're seeking things, achieving things, wanting things, desiring things, and it's fun, right? It is, but it's fleeting. You ever notice that? Many people get depressed and they go buy something, right? And they believe that by buying something, it's going to cheer them up. And it may, for a little bit. We've all probably been there, most likely. But then it fades. It's gone. You remember when you were a child, right? And you got a toy, whatever it may be, for maybe Christmas or birthday or whatever. And it was a toy you'd always wanted. Dreamed about it, actually played with it. And then there's the toy. It's your favorite toy. You play with it all the time. And you have fun with it. But eventually, that toy ends up in the bottom of your toy chest. And you never play with it. It's fleeting. Everything's fleeting. Everything's temporary. It isn't forever for us. The only thing that is forever is the God within the body, that which we truly are. So you can understand that there are those on the planet that have basically discovered this, and they constantly are practicing living and being in the now. And the way to go into the now is through the breath. You can be walking around doing things, traveling, whatever, sitting, laughing, and be only in the now. All of this, when you go into meditation like we are now, and we go to the silent part, we're in the now. Because you're focused on your breath. You aren't focused out there. You aren't focused on worries, stresses, fears, anxieties. You're focused on the now, through your breath. That's where the true joy and happiness is. That's where our bliss is, in the now. It's always about being still and silent. And being still and silent
has enough power in it to generate a complete awakening in our lives, regardless of how deeply stuck we feel or we think we are. None of us, doesn't matter who any of us think we are, believe we are, can guarantee 100% total trust, total confidence, and we know through the heart-mind that we will be here tomorrow. None of us can do that. Oh, sure, through the ego and the mind, right? The head and the ego. Sure, someone will say, oh, absolutely. See, I told you I was here. I'm here tomorrow. I'm here. But you can't guarantee it. And you will try to guarantee it through the ego mind, but not through the heart mind. You'll know. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out.
Take a slow, easy breath in through the nose and a slow and easy breath out the mouth. Remain still. We must always begin this life in the here and now. This moment is truly inescapable. Every time we try to escape from the now, we suffer and are immediately tossed back into it with the feeling that we had some significant or insignificant experience of a past or future event. And we call that fun. Me neither. Always remember, be here now because you are. Stop believing in who you think you are and just take 1 hour today to do nothing. Just relax into your body and be with whatever energy arises during this time. Seek what all is happening inside you today. Relax and rest. Give yourself permission to do absolutely nothing. And very soon, you will discover something truly amazing. The awesome divine being, who you really are. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and following morning. We will return here tonight, Wednesday, August 17th, 2022, 9 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Time for Change call, and Thursday, August 18th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation